Of course, he's been practicing law there at that firm. You know, what was your advice to him when he decided to be a candidate for this judgeship? I mean, you know, this is kind of like it's got to be a culture shock for Mr. Conder. You know.
You know, I've known him a long time, and he's really a real nice guy. He's smart as a whip. He works hard, and he would really like to be a judge. And I think he's the kind of fellow that will, follow the law and, won't try to make any law. I just, I would support him in anything he did. Now he and my daughter Anna were married, and they lived. Anna and him lived together several years, and she had a stroke and died, and we got real close, and then about 4 years later, he remarried and had 3 more girls. So, I think that, good times and bad times, you find out what kind of person somebody really is, and, honest and hardworking and smart. That's really, you just can't ask for much more than that. And he's just
I appreciate that, Pepper.
He's a fine young man.
I appreciate that.
Now, if you wanted to know anything bad about him, you'd have to talk to somebody else, because everything I know about him is good. And, Frankie, I'd help him any way that I could. And I've got a lot of friends around, and,
yes, you
and
do.
They say, Dale Conder? And I say, I sure do. And so I tell them about him, and they say, he sounds like a great guy for the job. So I'm in all seriousness, he would be a great judge.
Well, Councilman Bray, we all Jacksonians were, we were, all of our hearts and stuff. We remember when you lost your daughter and your wife passed away and all that. And it seems like that you must have a lot of admiration and respect for Mr. Conder to step out there and with your endorsement, and you're an honorable man, and that. It really touches me today. It really does.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just glad to talk to you about it, Frankie, and appreciate your help and appreciate your work.
All right, Mr. Councilman Bray, we appreciate you calling.
Thank you, Pepper.
Thank you.
Wow. Man, that's a pretty good endorsement.
That's a great endorsement. And, Pepper and Gigi, they've been in this town forever, and there's not too many people
Right.
that don't know Pepper and Gigi.
Dad, I wanted to ask you, these judges' races, you are so limited on what you can say or how you can lay out what you're going to do. I mean, like if you were running for mayor or sheriff or anybody or governor or state representative, you would say,
right.
This is what I want to do. I want to create jobs. I want to cut tax. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do this. I want to do that. Okay, where do you stand on abortion? Well, I stand this way. Where do you stand on crime? I stand this way. With running for judge, you're bound by so many limitations to where basically the only thing that you could say as a candidate, correct me if I'm wrong, and you can add to or take away,
sure,
is that you will be fair on the bench, and you know law, you have experience, and here's my character, and I appreciate your vote. Other than that, what else could you say? I'm curious.
Yeah, well, you've hit the nail right on the head, and that's one of the oddities, I guess it is, of running for judge. Number one, the judicial candidate cannot ask for money, and as well as anybody that you can't run a campaign without money. So
you got to have a lot of money.
You got to have folks raise money for you. And like you said, you can't go out and say this is my position on this because it's so important that judges have. You have somebody in the position of judge who has the experience and the integrity that justifies the people's trust in them, because the judicial system is such a critical part of the American system of government, and so you've got to have that you got to have that somebody who has that experience and that integrity, and that's what I offer to the people, is that I have the experience and the integrity, professionally and personally, to justify their trust in me and electing me judge.
Like here in Tennessee, we have the death penalty here in Tennessee.
Right.
And if someone would ask you if you were for the death penalty, that would not really be a fair question, because if you were if you were presiding over a case, it would be a case-by-case situation, and if the prosecutor was asking for it. So there's really no way you can answer that question or any of those questions, right? I mean, there's just no way to ask them.
Sure.
You follow the law is basically what you do.
Well, that
as a judge, right?
You're exactly right, and that's what we need in judges are men and women who will follow the law and will not impose their personal views on it. Somebody asked me about that, and I said if I wanted to impose my personal views on somebody, I would run for the General Assembly or for Congress or something like that. But the laws are passed by the people's representatives, in this case in Nashville, and as a judge, you review that law, you understand that law, and then you apply it to the facts and circumstances that are presented before you, and that's the job of a judge.
I'm trying to think. I was thinking in my head, we have 6 candidates running.
That's right.
6 is qualified.
Six are qualified.
Wow. And then it's an off election. What I mean by off election, it's in August. It's in the general election. It's not a presidential election.
That's right.
The only, I think, local race that was going to be on the ballot besides this would be assessor of property, I think.
There's some school
boards. Okay.
A few school board positions.
So there's really this is a unique race because the facts are the facts. It's going to be a low turnout. It's not going to be a normal turnout like a presidential or a governor or a mayor's race or anything like that. So, you guys that are running for this position, I don't really know you just got to drag the people to the polls. I think I know.
Well, you've got to campaign, work hard, and get folks to come out to the polls. You're exactly right, because I haven't talked to anyone who knows anything or pretends to know anything about elections who says anything different than what you just said, and that is it'll be a low turnout.
Yeah. We're talking with Dale Conder today. He is a candidate for the 26th Judicial Circuit Court Judge's position that was vacated by Roger Page. And this election is coming up in August. We will take the calls. If you have calls or comments or endorsements or whatever you want to say, come on with the calls today at 731-423-0139. We'll be back on West Tennessee's News and Talk. You're listening to the Frankie Lack Show.
I'm Carl Kramer of the Golden Circle Auto Group.
39. It is 5:40. And we have Dale Conder here today. He is a candidate for Circuit Court Judge in this 26th Judicial District. This is Madison, Chester, and Henderson counties. And there are 3 positions. Right now, currently, you have Roy Morgan, who is a Circuit Court Judge, and Don Allen is, I do believe, in the second position.
That's right.
Judgeship. And this one was held by Roger Page, who is now Tennessee Court of Criminal Appeals. And so you have a special election that is being held in August, and you have many candidates that are running for this position. And this is a very important position. These judges will be presiding over very, very high-level, high-money civil cases. They will be presiding over criminal cases, felony cases, murder cases, burglary, all kinds of felony charges. And so these are very, very important positions to take very, very seriously because, not that none of the other judgeships are not important, but this is the big level here. And so Dale Conder's here, and once again, very limited on what he could say, what he would do behind the bench, because that's just the way these elections are when it comes to judgeships. And it's a nonpartisan race. They can't disclose Republican, Democrat, Independent, Libertarian, whatever. It's a nonpartisan race. So it's basically based upon you as the voter on the character of the person and the experience and weighing all of this stuff to decide who you're going to vote for. And so we have Dale Conder here today. If you'd like to ask him some questions within the realms, come on with them or make comments at 731-423-0139. And like I said, based on character, based upon, your personal situations, and explain to the listeners, tell the listeners about you and where you went to school and wife and family and all this different stuff. Go ahead.
Sure. Well, Frankie, I'm native Jacksonian, born and raised here, lived all my life here so far. except when I was away in college. I graduated in 1981 from JCM. I went to Jackson State Community College and then went to UT Martin. And after that, I went to law school up at UT Knoxville. And as I said earlier, I graduated from law school and went to work for Rainey Kaiser, and I've been there for 20 years, been a partner there since 2000. And Pepper called in earlier, and I really appreciate that. Pepper and Gigi and I are very close. They're just like my parents. As I told you off there, my parents are deceased, and Pepper and Gigi are just like mom and dad to me now. And I married Anna, their daughter, in 1994. We had a daughter, Courtney, and then Anna died suddenly in 1997. And so after that, I was a single parent with a daughter. A father with single parent with a daughter had to learn to do all those things, you know, that the mother would do, the braiding the hair and playing dolls and all that kind of stuff. I've been very blessed, though, and in 2000 I met Leanne Holmesley, you know, I've been very blessed because I've had two women in my life that I loved enough to marry and have children with, and Leanne and I got married in 2001, and we've had three more daughters, so it's Leanne and me, and then our four daughters, so it's kind of like living in a sorority house for me.
You ain't got a chance, man, with all them women.
I'm outnumbered. I just go in waving the white flag every day, you know, there's no way. So we have, you know, sometimes we're foster parents, so occasionally we'll have a fifth child in there, and I've been lucky. Most of those have been boys, so I've gotten a little bit of experience with having a little boy around the house. But you know, I've been practicing law, like I said, for 20 years, and I feel like that this position in the circuit court is something that I'm qualified to do, and I want to take a shot at letting the folks elect me to be their circuit court judge. And like you said, it's a very important position, and it's a important election for that reason. And you've got to get that person who's got the integrity. You mentioned that. You know, we've got these outrageous situation up in East Tennessee, up in Knoxville, with the judge up there that he resigned and has been replaced now. But because of his antics, there are some murder cases that'll have to be retried, and that's unfair to the victims' families who are going to have to go through that again.
Yeah.
And so the folks need to take a hard look and find in this case, the man. It could be a woman, but we've got 6 men running. The man who has that personal and professional integrity to do this job.
How would Dale Conder separate himself from the other candidates? And I don't want you to go through every one of them, give differences, but you know, there's other candidates. How would you differ from these other candidates?
Well, Frank,
People are struggling with, okay, I know all these guys. I'm trying to figure out who I'm going to vote for. I mean, so
sure. Frankie, I know the other 5 guys, and they're great guys, and I've had cases with, I think, pretty much every one of them. But what distinguishes me is my level of experience, 20 years of trying these cases in federal court, state court, civil rights cases, dealing with the First Amendment, Fourth Amendment, analyzing the statutes, employment cases, and I have tried to live my personal life and also conduct myself professionally in a way that that shows I've got the integrity to do the job. And my partners at Rainey Kaiser support me in this, and they even appointed me as their ethics partner to review ethics questions that come up within the firm, whether it's our staff or the attorneys. And I'm not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I've tried to live my personal life so that so that if I give somebody my word, then that's my bond. That's what my dad always taught us, was that if you tell somebody you're going to do something, then do it. And I've lived my life that way, and I try, and I believe I've got the experience and integrity to justify the voters' trust.
You know, when you're in any kind of craft, whether it be being an attorney or any other craft, being a physician, a nurse, or whatever, I mean, you always want to, you're always working and getting experience to move to that next level, to be, the chief surgeon or the head nurse or you wanting to move up the chain with it and all that. And I wanted to ask this question because I've always wondered it. I've never asked it before of any other judge candidate. A lot of times I've asked people over the years, does every lawyer basically want to be a judge? And the answer I get is, well, some of them say, well, someday I'd like to explore that if I get a few more years under my belt. Then I have some of them to say to me, well, no, I don't want to be a judge because I'd have to take a tremendous pay cut. So, is that...
Well, to answer your question, I don't think every lawyer wants to be a judge. I know plenty of lawyers who don't want to be a judge. They're lawyers, and they do what they do, and they enjoy it, and they would enjoy it much more than being a judge. I want to be a judge. As we talked during the break, these positions don't come open that often, and which is why you have 6 people running for it. But I want to be a judge because it's something I'm qualified to do, and something that I would enjoy doing it. My personality is not. I was telling somebody earlier, I don't have the personality for radio. I couldn't do your job. I couldn't sit here and talk and
A lot of people say I can't do it either, but that's all right.
But I have a reserved personality, and if I'm in a room full of people, I'm not the one jumping around getting all the attention.
You don't have the charisma, the Elvis Presley charisma.
That's right.
Thing.
That's right. But what I do have is that I'm analytical, that I listen. I'm a good listener. I listen to what people have to say. I analyze what they've said, and come to my conclusions based on that. And that's something that's very important for a judge, is to listen to the parties. You have at least 2 parties that disagree on something in a civil case, or in a criminal case, you've got the state trying to take away somebody's liberty, and you've got to listen to what the sides are arguing. If it's resolving a motion issue or something, and then take the law and apply that law to the facts of that situation to reach the right conclusion. And that's something that I think I'm good at. I do it. I read cases a lot, read the law a lot. I know that sounds boring and kind of odd, but read these cases and figure out, how does this law, this rule announced by the court in this particular case, apply to this new set of facts? And that's what judges have to do. And it's something that I enjoy doing as well.
One of the email questions that we received is that I talked about having a circuit judge position 1 with Roy Morgan and position 2 with Don Allen, and this 3rd position. How much time, and I know the answer, but I'll go ahead and let you answer. How much time will you be presiding, if elected judge, in all 3 of the different counties? Because you have the Chester, Madison, and Henderson County. Is it divided up where one of them is lean mainly to Henderson County, Madison County, Chester? Is it all equally cases distributed on all 3 counties?
Yeah, there are 3 divisions, Frankie, in the 26th Judicial District. Judge Morgan is Division 1, Judge Allen's Division 2, and this is Division 3. And when cases are filed, they are assigned to a division. And whether that case is filed in Chester County, Henderson County, or Madison County, gets assigned to a division, and then that judge handles that case. So regularly...
So there's not more assigned to Division 3 out of this county. It's all done at random and in rotation, right? Would that be fair to say?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, we'll be back. We'll take some more. We'll take a call or 2 if you want to call in today for Dale Conder. We'll go straight to the phone lines. And Danny, go ahead for Dale Conder today.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, fine.
Doing
Good. Hey, I might have missed it. I've been listening to the interview the judges candidates past couple of weeks or so. But how much does the circuit judge make, or for the 3 counties? I believe it's Henderson, Chester, and Madison.
That's right. It's those 3 counties. I think it's around $150,000.
150. So you get, if you're elected as judge, you'll get a check from Madison, Chester, and Henderson County. All 3 counties pay your salary.
It's paid by the state.
It's paid by the state?
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Is that based on cases you hear, or is that just kind of a set figure? Or
The legislature sets the salary, and that's how it is. Circuit judges throughout the state, their salaries are set at a certain amount, and then appellate courts, whether it's the Court of Criminal Appeals or the Court of Appeals or the Tennessee Supreme Court, theirs go up based on those positions.
Okay, so like if a circuit judge has, say, 2 counties, he or she or they make the same as you have in 3 counties, or?
I think that's right, but to tell you the truth,
Okay.
I haven't looked into it that closely. Maybe I should.
Okay. Well, I say, with 3 counties, especially Madison County being one of them, I'm sure you'll get your fill of cases if you're elected. And I said Henderson's a pretty good-sized county as well.
That's right.
But I would figure Madison would be your 3 or 4 days, 4 days a week.
Madison County's the big one. That's for sure.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it, and good luck.
Thanks for calling in.
All right, Danny, we appreciate it. We got about a minute here. So, Dale, so you're hitting the campaign trail and going to knock on a lot of doors and shake a few hands.
Knock on doors, shake hands, make phone calls.
Do what you got to do.
Show up wherever and talk to as many voters as I can to explain to them why I'm the candidate.
All right, you are headed to Henderson County right now to meet with some folks.
That's right.
Yeah.
The Henderson County Republican Party has invited all 6 candidates to come up tonight. I think they're meeting at 7 o'clock in Lexington at the courthouse, and they've invited all 6 of us to come up there and introduce ourselves and answer questions they've got, and let us know, because all the candidates, well, Lloyd Tatum's from Chester County, and then the rest of us are Jackson lawyers. So.
Right. All right, so you want to meet Mr. Conder? He's going to be at the Henderson County Courthouse in about an hour.
That's right.
And that's why he has to cut short today. I appreciate you being here.
Oh, Frankie, I appreciate so much you let me come in and visit with you and your listeners.
All right, we have Mr. Conder's information posted on the Frankie Lack Show. Dale Conder for Judge.com, I do believe. Or
That's
you
right.
can correct me.
It's conderforjudge.com.
Conderforjudge.com.
Yeah.
And or they can give you a call through Randy Kaiser.
That's right.
Or a staff member there.
They can call me at 426-8130. That's my office number. And then on the website has a cell phone number they can call me at.
All right. We'll be back in just a few moments.